Charcoal and other forms of wood fuel are a critical source of energy in Uganda, very central for our domestic needs. Almost 95% of our people depend on wood fuel for their daily cooking. And in urban areas, almost every household prefers to use charcoal since it is convenient and smokeless. This growing demand and overdependence now puts pressure on the dwindling biomass in Uganda. The traditional charcoal supply sources are steadily getting depleted, threatening the required supply in the near future.
There's a lot of land degradation in form of soil erosion, soil exhaustion, that is nutrients, and also deforestation. And all this combined, they are really reducing the productivity of the lands in these areas. And one of the underlying causes of this is that most of our people depend on these natural resources, so they are overexploited.
The worst hit areas are in the cattle corridor, where massive volumes of biomass have been brought down and converted to charcoal to feed the ever-growing demand. Nakasongola, Kiruhura, Isinjiro and Kamuri remain hotspot areas in Uganda. In Nakasongola, where Combretum tree species had for many years sustained the industry, the area is now quickly getting creamed off of her vital vegetational cover. Thousands of charcoal dealers have descended onto the site, clearing hundreds of hectares for livestock farming and charcoal production. They have relentlessly cut down all the trees, converting the former green belt to a shadow of her former self.
Cutting all these thickets, terrible, it's not a job. And for us, we need everything cleared, because even they are going to burn all these ones. Because if they don't burn these ones, these other thickets will just grow into those what? These ones which they have cut. So they have to make sure that the thing is clean.
Ntegeragana ki kije muyina ni muzee
ya kuwa emiti n'omulongooseza effaamu ye gw'omusaala gwo kujjamu manda kuba ku mbeera yansi naawe oba onoonya kubeerawo.
The scenery is now that of bare surfaces and aridity. The traditional charcoal production technology, that of earth mold, is wasteful and very destructive to the environment.
Traditional earth kilns are very inefficient, and they cause a lot of deforestation, land degradation, and they also have an impact on climate change in those areas.
Every year, thousands of tons of wood is pieced up into small logs for charcoal production.
Nao chamanga mulimu yange ni sina mulimu milala. Okay. Kuna musente anyamba atusobola kuleta mutima ya kugenda kuiba. Atusobola kuleta mutima ya kubera na mutima ya vitu ya bandi. Kwanga ena nyamba ngurangoi sasura sukulupisi yabona nguriza abana sakulia.
This earth mold pumps thousands of volumes of toxic gases into the environment, speeding up problems of global warming and climate change. Dr. Samba Gabo has critically been analyzing the trend over the years.
The traditional conventional technology is both wasteful, because it's very inefficient, and yet it pollutes the atmosphere to add gases that cause global warming and climate change. It releases gases, that is carbon dioxide and mainly methane. Carbon dioxide can be re-imbibed by trees, but methane, once released, it will be in the atmosphere and it's very dangerous. It's 28 times more dangerous than carbon dioxide.
Today, the Sustainable Land Management Program of the Ministry of Agriculture is taking no chances. They have approached the global environment facilities of the United Nations Development Program for support to come to terms with the problem. They now have hired Dr. Samba Gabo, a senior consultant in charcoal production technologies, to steer the charcoal producers in the right direction.
The technology is fairly new in this country, and the project of sustainable land use management in the Ministry of Agriculture, together with the UNDP, is the one that has initiated the promotion of retorts and customers' killings.
The communities are keen to learn. They now realize alternative methods of charcoal production hold the key into the future. Everybody here is active. They are chopping up twigs harvested from their own woodlots to feed the new technologies. They have organized themselves into cooperative units as young adapters to the new effective technologies like Sam's retort killing, a revolution to increase productivity and save Mother Earth. They will then cover the top with a portable metallic lid to trap the gases from escaping to the atmosphere. Workers will then ensure enough dusty soil and sand seals off the escape route for carbon dioxide and methane. Since morning, they have been loading the kiln to show how it all works. When the deed is done, Dr. Samba Gabo will then take us across the state-of-the-art of the new technology.
Here they are trying to warm the chimney, because the chimney has an effect. When you warm the base, if the base gets heated, the air within the chimney rises, and consequently it creates a current of air. And what they're going to do is to actually close using this.
Let her close.
So when they close, the source of air flow will be through the firebox, so it will naturally fan the firebox, and the firebox will be releasing its gases through the chimney. The mud is used to seal the cover into the system, such that the air that is being sucked into the chimney will stop coming from outside this way, and it will be drawn from the firebox system.
So it is mud everywhere, on top, on the sides.
On the side, yeah.
Why?
Because it is a retort. You are heating now the fire with the wood chart in the system, and you don't want air to get in. Once air seeps in, it will just burn to ashes. But when you control the amount of air in the wood charge, it will be turned to charcoal.
After lighting the chimney, workers will then proceed to phase 2, which involves igniting the firebox located at the opposite side of the chimney. They will then chop smaller twigs of wood to light the firebox and leave the rest of the work to the methane gas to do the carbonization.
They are lighting the firebox, and through the firebox here, the flue gases, the hot flue gases are going to pass under the metal plate where the wood is loaded. And the heat is going to be transmitted through that metallic sheet and it will reach the wood. When the wood is heated and it reaches a temperature of about 250 degrees Celsius, then it will start the carbonization process. Initially, before the 250 degrees, all the water that is imbibed within the wood and within the cells of the wood will have to first be expelled. So the temperature of the wood will remain at 100 until all the water is released. Then it will shoot to 250 degrees, and from there it will start carbonization. That is turning wood into charcoal, and charcoal is actually carbon. So it is getting the wood to charcoal. That's why we use the term carbonization.
Whereas the traditional earth mold uses lots of big logs to heat the wood for charcoal production, this system here depends more on the unwanted methane as a major source of energy for carbonization.
You look inside here and it will show you that the methane now is being recycled and it will be igniting. So you stop using this wood and you use the methane to heat up the system. You just put a little wood and the methane will be doing the heating. In fact, you don't have to add any more wood. That's adequate. Yeah. And this wood, it doesn't have to be as good as that. You can use very tiny pieces of wood, which will not ordinarily give you charcoal, something like this, and you use that for heating. Whereas in a kiln, it uses the very wood that you are converting into charcoal to heat the kiln. You use part of the charge, and you may use pieces even bigger than this. With this one, that one will be saved for charcoal, and the smaller bits and maybe maize cobs and so on will be the ones that are used here.
The Sam 1 retort kiln is the brainchild of Dr. Sam Bagabo. These young men and women are now new graduates of his new school of thought.
This one is a hole that helps you to find out whether the trees are actually getting carbonized. And if the process takes some time to carbonize, you could remove it. And allow air to enter there. Then some of the charge will be actually combusted and generate more heat in the system, and then you close it and seal it. So when it's heating, it will be sealed with mud. So this one is kind of a thermometer.
So how long will it take to be ready?
It takes anything between 6 to 10 hours. If it is dry wood, it will take about 6 hours, and then you have to stop the firebox and seal it.
These are the dustless products of their efforts. In Kamuli, Gemakumwino Youth Development Group is yet another group that has embraced the new technology.
Our group has 30 members, and we maintain it through coming together, and we go and do an activity where we are together.
Here, the focus is more on the new Cusmas technology that has its roots in West Africa.
Cusmas as a technology was invented by some people in West Africa. But this particular Cusmas has been modified, and it's made out of 4 drums of used oil. The original Cusmas 3 drums would be welded together, and it would be too high and too long and rather difficult to move around. But this one, this is a portable casamas which can be put apart and easily moved.
The new casamas technology is flexible and appropriate. As an improved replica of the traditional earth mold, the casamas screen is cleaner and portable.
The casamas is more efficient compared to the traditional kiln, and less dirty, less polluting. It is 28% efficient, and yet the traditional kiln is only 10% efficient.
Like the earth mold, the casamas technology involves piecing the logs shorter and arranging them in their order of size. The big ones on the ground and the small ones on top. But care must be taken to maintain a circular shape, always in the shape of a dissected ball. A collection of tree species, including macadamia, eucalyptus, and even ficus. Heaping continues as the women gather small twigs and grass to cover the top, just like wrapping a heap of bananas in a saucepan. And when the job is done, the portable cylindrical drums are joined together like a chimney, but this time fixed at the base of the heap. Unlike in any other kiln, the thick soil layer is then piled on top and all around the ball-like heap to block away the outgoing or incoming gases, leaving the only outlet in the casamas drums. The work is done, the group is convinced. They will then ignite the kiln through the improvised fire chamber, a replica of the firebox. This is how the complete casamas technology looks like. The exhaust pipe-like tube is then connected to the basement of the drum as a provision to let out the condensed gases during the process of carbonization.
There is a place which we gazette as a firebox. It's where we set fire, and we make sure that the firebox is opposite the casamas. There's a metallic drums. So once we set fire, it means that smoke can go there, and we trap them, we condense it, and the result is what we call, we get the result of the oil called the isosceles oil.
When it is working and it sucks the gases, it condenses some of the fumes into a liquid. So there is a liquid that is collected. It's called pyrolysis oil. And that pyrolysis oil has many other uses, which includes preservation of wood. Some people have reported that it could last up to 30 years. So you could treat wood, or you could treat poles using that pyrolysis oil. You could treat grass for thatching using pyrolysis oil, and those are the extra advantages.
We sell isosceles oil, a jerrycan, at 25,000. We put the money in our group, and the group members plan for that money.
2 to 3 days later, The Gemakumwino Youth Development Group is now set to harvest their products.
It gives more charcoal and far better quality charcoal, which is not, which does not easily soil fingers or clothes, and yet it is a sizable amount of charcoal. So that is the customer's killing.
And apart from the efficiency and cleanliness of the new technologies, they are also friendly to our agricultural productivity. Soils remain stable and even more enriched. This maize garden, established on the ashes of the former customer's killing, looks more promising to the local farmer here.
Era yamera aye ngoli nebirombe birebyeira ngoli onuduma ayagati ngoli ali kuvuluka ngoli ali kufamu nekirungi kyedula mweno.
And for friends of nature, these new charcoal production technologies will now go a long way in improving the microclimate and reducing problems of global warming and climate change.